Hi friends, good evening everyone. I am Abhay Khanna, QA testing lead at Royal Cyber. I am having around 12 plus years of experience in software testing and I have been associated with Royal Cyber from last 3 years. With me, I have Adnan Maqsood, who is the test architect for GoTest Pro at Royal Cyber Inc. Welcome to today's insightful webinar where we unravel the secrets of achieving cost efficiency while upholding unwavering quality in software development through the strategic use of test automation. I am thrilled to have you join us for this discussion, especially as we explore not only industry best practices but also introduce a powerful tool that has been revolutionizing the landscape of test automation, that is GoTest Pro. Thank you for being here and let's make this webinar an engaging and informative journey for all. About the company, the Royal Sabre. Royal Sabre is an IT consulting and data transformation company specializing in services, solutions, and software. We are having 20 plus years of experience, 2000 plus employees globally, 500 plus certified consultants, 10 plus offices operating globally in 5 continents, 600 plus clients across the globe. We have a huge clientele across the sectors, whether it be healthcare, banking and finance, retail, manufacturing, or emerging. In addition to GoToS Pro, we have different value adds which are being going on with Royal Cyber, that is Monitor Pro, Secura Cloud, etc. So, for this agenda, why QA automation, what is no code test automation, and how it works, GoTest Pro demo Q&A. I will invite Adnan to take over from here.
Okay, thank you, Abhay. Hello, everyone. My name is Adnan Maqsood. I am a QA architect at in GoTest Pro, working with Royal Cyber for quite some time now. Today's agenda that we'll be discussing is why QA automation is very important within any organization which is inclining towards automation or planning to move from manual testing toward test automation. And moving forward, we will discuss how no-code test automation actually work, what are the pros and cons of no-code automation, and how any QA engineer or a test automation engineer can opt for it. Then we will talk more about GoTest Pro. Basically, it is also one of a very leading and market-friendly tool. Royal Cyber, which is also focusing on no-code test automation. Okay, moving towards the slide deck. Okay, in by one of the studies in 2023, 70% of the organization rely on towards manual testing, which caused around like 1.7 trillion losses due to the bugs causing happening in the production or missed by a QA engineer due to rigorous work of a manual testing. So due to this analysis of the reports, we do think, and it is very important to move towards automation, which can speed up your testing process, can catch up the bugs at very early stages within the software development life cycle, so which can result in very cost effective way, cause as you know that if we catch a bug in a production, so the cost of fixing the bugs is very high in terms of a bug being captured within the initial stages of the development cycle. Also, manual testing is non-scalable. You can keep on adding more manual test scenarios or use cases either in an Excel sheet or in any test case management tool that an organization is following. But most of the time of a QA engineer or a team of QA engineers will be occupied in running those tests again and again. For example, in a regression cycle, that most of the development time or the time of the QA engineers will be spent around like 15 to 20% of the total software development budget will be allocated towards that execution of a redundant work, which is a manual testing. So it is very test automation rather relying on towards manual testing that will improve the efficiency, bring more transparency, and also optimize the cost in terms of utilizing the team members within the right and appropriate manner and a way. Okay.
So Adnan, I have a question here for those two
Please, please.
slides. So why we are incurring so much losses due to manual testing? Like how we can bring this down, and
Okay, so yeah.
how we can scale up manual testing?
Okay, great question. The losses that we are facing in with these manual testing is just because that due to the manual testing, manual tester had to run those scenarios again and again. Maybe it's an integration testing or a regression testing happening into the beta environments. So there are a probability that a human can like foresee and not able to foresee those corner use cases or a scenario, so they can come up with the new bugs when the builds are in the production or the product is out in the market. So to avoid those and to avoid these heavy or huge losses, if we have enabled test automation and prepare a better scripts within the automation framework, so it's very handy to capture the bugs. Once the bugs are captured in the initial stages, so it will definitely reduce a lot of losses and avoid the organization to have such impact in the production environments. Okay, moving towards why automation. Why automation is basically very cost saving. As you know that if, for example, a team of five QA engineers is working and running the whole end-to-end software testing lifecycle within the software development lifecycle, if we automate their work or if they start automating their use cases, for example, their sanity and smoke checklist or their integration or functional test cases, so they will be reducing their manual work. In terms, when the manual work is reduced, so they will save the cost. And once the redundant work is reduced, so they effectively and automatically it will reduce the time for the execution, and time to market will be increased. And resource allocation, the management will have a probability and like have ability to allocate those resources in a very in a more effective and efficient manner to new areas where they can explore, they can bring in more innovation within their existing products. Apart from that, automation will definitely bring in speed. For example, you have automated certain test cases or scenarios, and now you want to when once that scenarios or use cases integrated within your CI/CD pipeline. So the whole end-to-end software development life cycle will rely on the quality of the test cases that you have developed. Okay, once the code has been merged into a develop or a master branch, your test cases will automatically run in a continuous manner, and without any human interaction, you will know the quality of your build depending upon the test scenarios or the use cases that you have written down. And also, once you have those results, so accuracy will come in. So you know the build that is in the in certain environment, in the UAT environment or in the production environment, you know the quality, you know the results of it, how many test cases got passed on that build. So you have all that stats and report, which will definitely bring in accuracy. Test coverage is another element that will be covered by automation. So you will have a lot of test reports that can come along within your pipeline, within your test automation framework, within the tools that you are using to opt for automation. So that test coverage report and how many areas of an application or the product has been covered by the test automation. So all these things will be available, and eventually that will help the whole QA team. And on a bigger picture, it will help the management to see where the product quality lies as of now. Okay. Okay. So as per one of the studies, the test automation is one of the fastest growing segment in the tech industry, and most of the organizations are either move towards test automation or planning to move towards it and let go the manual part of it. As per the projected survey, 50 billion by 2026 is a rate or the growth rate that we can foresee, with the annual trajectory rate of 19%. And around like 70 to 80% organizations feel that this is the thing to adopt. Like test automation or automation is one thing that they need to opt for to reduce reduce the cost and bring more efficiency within their whole software development lifecycle process. Yeah. Okay. Now we talk more about like test automation and moving from test automation towards no code automation. So everyone know what is automation. They are familiar of the word, but no code automation is something very new and very interesting to know about. Okay, so no code automation is something we can say that we can write down a certain script or a code, but no code automation is something where we have a tool. For example, if I talk about GoTest Pro, in a GoTest Pro, we have a recorder functionality, which as an end user or a business user, you do not have to write down any code or any script. The recorder within the tool record your whole actions or scenario that you are trying to replicate or you're trying to automate. So on the background, it keep on generating the code, but at the front end, user is just interacting with the functional aspect of the application, and it is very faster and cheaper because the QA resources or the engineer do not have to be well versed on the technology stack in terms of learning the Java, Python, or C Sharp, any such languages. They just need to know the use cases. They need to be just a subject matter expert so that they can run those scenarios or the use cases. This is more accessible for the user who have no much knowledge about the coding. Rapid test creation is there, so you can just run your scenario and you can record it, and then you can integrate that with your pipelines, etc. Well-defined test scenario, so it is very well defined in terms of a layman who, for example, a non-technical user wants to review your test cases, so they can also understand what is actually happening within this test scenario, and the interface is such very easy and handy. So any business user who does not have any technical background but does know about the application, so they can actually know what is happening in this use case or a test scenario. Yeah. So
Adan,
benefits.
before
Yeah. Yes,
going
please.
forward, so can we go back to the previous slide?
Yes.
So you mean to say that we are moving towards low code and no code things, right? So
Yes.
I think in coming future, so BAs will also be able to test these the platform through these particular tools.
Yes, definitely. Either it's a business analyst, product owners, or any program manager within the company, so they can use these tools such as GoTest Pro to test their application. Like a business analyst know about the requirements and what he is actually looking forward after once the product is ready. So they can also build their own test cases, use cases using this tool, as there is no coding involved in it. All they need to know how to interact with the application, what is the user flow or a business use case. So once they run that use case, the tool itself generate all the scripts and then do the validation and the verification on their behalf.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, moving towards the benefit of the codeless automation approach and how basically codeless automation work. Here I'm talking more about GoTest Pro. So I have divided that into different level or a sequence. Starting with the level zero, as I mentioned earlier, so a tool must have some sort of a recorder or and a utility that can capture the users in what user is basically doing or how he's interacting with the application. So at level zero, recorder will just be on the application or on the screen. Level one is basically a combination of level zero plus we can utilize some other benefits or the feature set of the tool itself. For example, we can invoke the data driven approach. We can do the parameterization. We can enable some we can inherit different test cases within one test use case or a test case, modify the scenario, something like that. And at level two, what we can do is it's a kind of a more advanced level in combination of previous levels, and plus we can do some conditional So you can do that. Level 3 is a decomposition. So we will optimize the code. We can see which steps are consuming more time if we have to put some implicit or explicit weights to make our test cases more robust, and that will be done in level 3. Level 4 is just a combination of all the previous level, and it is more technical resources. For example, you have a custom framework developed in within your organization, and you also want to opt for a no code automation tool. So at the end of the day, you want that, okay, some scripts that is generated by the no code automation tool, for example GoTest Pro, generate one use case or a scenario. So you want to export that script within your custom framework. So you can do that. You can generate all the script within the Java language and utilize as a Java class within your existing framework, and you can run the similar code within your framework. Okay. More about GoTest Pro. GoTest Pro is basically a next generation automation tool that is rely more on the testing side. It support all the sort of an application, either at an enterprise level application or any e-commerce SaaS based application that is deployed on the web, or a hybrid mobile application that is available. So you can test and automate all your use casing using GoTest Pro. It's a codeless. Powered by different other third-party integrations that can be done. For example, if you have to run any cloud execution, you can schedule your test on the cloud, and it also support all sort of functional end-to-end testing. Also come up with API testing. If you have REST or SOAP UIs, or even if you have a microservices or web services, so you can automate all using GoTest Pro. It reduces user testing timelines because everything is automated, and automation itself within the GoTest Pro is very handy. Takes very less time. Extend the repositories and within the built-in libraries that we have to kickstart the automation testing. So user just have to access GoTest Pro, set up the project, and then just kickstart his via test automation and no code automation. Okay, these are some of the high-level features of GoTest Pro that comes in within the product itself. Apart, just beside, I think that I can keep on explaining the features over here. I will jump on quickly towards the product itself and showcase all these features there, so that is more handy and easy for everyone to understand. Okay, this is how actually GoTest Pro interface looks like. On the left hand side, you can see a lot of like a project test plan, test plans, execution and results section, and there is a main dashboard that comes up. So the user journey actually starts with the on the GoTest Pro starts with the project section. On the project section, user can come up and create one project for himself. They can provide a title for the project. Once the title is given, user needs to select the type, which type of a testing the user required. Either it's a browser-based testing or an API-based testing. After that, an environment needs to be added where for example, an application that is actually under test, that needs to be defined over here. So URL, once it's saved, so it's all done, and user project is set up. Once the user set up its project, they will move towards the test section. Here they can create a test case, and once a test case is created, they need to provide a test name and a test plan name and some sort of a description and create a test. Created test will appear something like this. User go into this create test once the test is created. Okay, so once user create a test and comes to this manage test section, they have more options to actually record a scenario or generate a test scenario using AI, which is currently in a beta stage. Okay, user can actually click here and use our recorder, which can actually capture all the actions that is user performing on the screen. Okay, this is one of the use case that is already recorded, which I will just quickly run and showcase how actually the execution looks like. We also provide the GoTest Pro come with two types of executions. One is local execution and one is cloud execution. So cloud execution enables the user to run on different configurations on a cloud environment. Okay, for example, a user needs to run one test scenario on a mobile device, so they can just configure their test scenario on that specific device. They can select it with these live devices within operating systems. Okay, and then they can configure it and submit it, and then the execution will be executed on the cloud, and the results will be available for the end user on the dashboard. they can also run the local execution, but local execution will keep their system engaged for because the execution will be happening in front of them, and the system will be engaged over there. So user just click on the local execution side. Okay, and this is how it looks like. Okay, on the yeah, sorry. Okay, so on the right hand side, you can see that there are steps basically happening, and on the left hand side there is an application that is actually under test. Okay, and all the steps that's been executed successfully, you will see that are been getting passed. Okay, in case of any failure, we can actually see the failures on the go, which is happening right now. And we can see all the waits, incidents, operations that has been performed within the applications. It's very easy and very in a very layman language. It's been written down all sort of a wait. All sort of validations or assertions that's been made within the application that will be visible to end user. And apart from that, these test cases can be edited at any time. Okay, if you think this test case needs to be added, so you can just open the test case in a debugger mode and just run the debugger and add it with the new parameters or maybe a new steps that needs to be added. So this is how no code automation that GoTest Pro actually provides. Once the test case is executed, you will be able to see all the results, recordings, and the visual elements happening on the screen, all the assertions made. So these will be visible within your reports. Okay, while this execution is happening, I will talk more about the other feature sets that this tool brings in. You can also do image comparison or any visual testing that you need to perform on your website or on your product. So you can do that. This comes up with a different third-party integration. For example, you have your test scenario or a use cases or a story written down in a Jira. So you can integrate your this tool, so you can import all the requirements from Jira. Beside having any starting from scratch, you will have all the Jira, and then you can integrate Jira with it. And once the test run against certain user story, so your results will be pushed back to Jira into there as well. Also, if you have any test case management tools such as X-Ray, or maybe Microsoft Team Foundation Server, so you can integrate that very easy. And if there is any case of a failure happening, so you can log the bugs as well within the tool by using the tool itself. Okay, so the test case execution has been done. So we can quickly move towards the results section to see how the results look like. Okay, so this is how the results section look like. So you will have a PDF report and the summary, the test cases passed or failed. Apart from that, you will see all the steps, the screenshots attached with each and every step. In case of any failure, you will see the status of the fail, and then you can also generate a bug if you have integrated Jira or any tool with your with GoTest Pro. Okay. This also comes with a very handy API testing side as well. So in the project section, you will see the test cases that you have executed, the functional one, and the API section side. So you can also quickly create your API test where you can test all the methods that you, for example, a post call, get call. So any call that you have to make on your API layer, so you can just quickly automate that using GoTest Pro. Yeah. So going back to the slide deck. Okay, so these were some of the other feature sets, the feature set that we have. So we talked about the codeless automation. We talked about data driven. The web recorder is there. I talked about on-prem and the cloud execution. Okay, so there is one of the major feature that GoTest Pro provide is auto healing. Auto healing is basically one of the very great feature that we have. So in case a traditional test automation engineer extract the element elements from the screen using IDs or XPath CSS selectors. So what in case of any changes happening on the front end, they have to either go and change their locator values, otherwise the test case will fail. So on the GoTest Pro, it using auto healing, it's very easy. So you do not have to worry about these changing happening. So while recording a test scenario, we capture all the locators, either it's a CSS selectors, XPath, custom XPath, ID, class names, etc. So in case even if ID or a name is changing, so we can go with the other locators, and we can make sure the test case is getting passed. Scheduling within the tool is there. So if you have to do a local scheduling, you can quickly schedule your test scenarios, and on the set time and date, the test cases will execute automatically. The tool is compatible with every market trending and leading DevOps tool, either it's Jenkins, Azure, OpenShift, or any other pipeline tools. Within the tool, we do have the reporting, and the reporting can be configured as per the needs as well. Okay, moving towards this simple use case or a scenario. So this, if this is a web page that we have to automate, a login page using a traditional framework, for example, Selenium, we have to write line of a code, maybe like a 20 or 30 line of a code that we have to write it down using a traditional test automation framework. And some of the major disadvantages is scripts are error prone, and the technical resources needs to be on ground to read and update those scripts. Also, huge maintenance cost takes more time to update and develop those scripts. Whereas if we have to automate the same scenario using the GoTest Pro, so we can write it, get it done within 5 or like a 10 or 12 steps, and it's less like error. There is no it's error free. Very less knowledge user needs to have around the scripts or a coding language. Very handy and easy to understand, easily customizable, and can be edited at any time. You can see what is happening actually on the screen, and this is more easily integratable. Integration is very easy with other third-party tools. So this is how actually GoTest Pro no code automation help in overall achieving the very cost minimal approach, and also the improving the efficiency at the end of the day within the team and within the organization. Okay, this is basically a GoTest Pro. This is basically a GoTest Pro end-to-end flow that we have. Okay, starting a journey from an X-ray, for example, it's a utility that we have in Jira. If you have any use cases or scenarios written down, for example, I have written X-ray. So I can simply integrate Jira X-ray with my GoTest Pro. All the test cases will be imported from X-ray in a BDD format, behavior-driven approach, and then GoTest Pro will use those use cases to build all the automation script on top of that. Once the scripts are automated and they are available, so they can run and execute it. Once the execution is done, so all the results will be pushed back to X-ray. The test case getting passed and which are getting failed, the execution results, and this seamlessly can be integrated with any pipeline. So we can initiate the runs from the pipeline. For example, a code merge is happening in a master branch, and once that has been done, so automatically the pipeline will trigger GoTest Pro, and the test will execute it. The results will be published to the pipeline and to the tool, for example, Jira or X-ray, with the status what is happening. Okay, we have already gone through the demo as well. So yeah, this is overall what we have to cover in today's webinar. I will be more than happy to take more questions from the audience, and feedbacks are more than welcome to and to uplift our tool. Yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone. I'm looking forward to the questions now. Okay.